It might have had a number of setbacks, and today's a horrible morning. But at 7 a.m, as you can see, the first ferry transporting goods from Algeciras to Gibraltar has arrived.
The use of the ferry and the border control post in Algeciras applies only to a very narrow category of goods. That is to say, to goods coming to Gibraltar in transit through the EU from outside the European Union. And for us, generally, that means from the United Kingdom. The nearest border control post to us is across the bay in Algeciras, which is why a ferry has been facilitated to make the sailing from Algeciras to Gibraltar for 6 days a week. This does not apply to goods of animal origin that come from the EU, continue to come in through the border as they've always done.
Goods being transported into Gibraltar from within the European Union do not need to enter via the border control posts at the Port of Algeciras and can continue entering via the land border. The new challenges, however, have also prompted local businesses to explore new possibilities to minimise any interruptions to the supply chain.
Some of our local food suppliers, and there are more than one that import from the UK, some of them have decided to set up an EU operation which will allow them to import the food into the European Union and then export the food to Gibraltar. Because the goods are not in transit, they don't need to go through a border control post.
The ferry service will continue to sail into Gibraltar until such a time there's a treaty in place which does away with the need.
Unless there is an agreement to the contrary or a treaty to the contrary, this is a mechanism that will need to continue for this specific type of goods, unless there is provision either for a new border control post authorized by the European Union at the La Linea frontier, or indeed if there is some kind of wider agreement that means that UK goods don't need to go through this process.
The ferry service also means goods can now come into Gibraltar on Saturdays, something that is not possible via the land border. And despite a number of setbacks earlier in the week, systems are now tried and tested. And this should be noticed on our shelves soon.